Justice and Fair Skin, the untold story of a judge and a white man. In the quaint but divided town of Fairhold, where the line between privilege and justice often blurred, Judge Henry Stokes held a reputation as a man who upheld the law above all else. His courtroom, a grand chamber of polished wood and somber echoes, was both a symbol of fairness and a battleground of societal divides. Henry, now in his late 50s, carried the weight of decades spent navigating the murky waters of morality, justice, and the unspoken rules of power. One chilly autumn morning, a case landed on his docket that would not only test his principles but unravel a story of redemption and reconciliation. Samuel Carter, a young white man in his early 30s, was accused of embezzling $200,000 from Hope Haven, a local charity that supported underprivileged children. Samuel was no ordinary defendant. He was the son of Arthur Carter, a powerful businessman whose wealth and influence extended far beyond the borders of Fairhold. The case stirred a frenzy in the town. Whispers filled the air. Would Samuel actually face justice? Or would his family's wealth protect him as it always had? People remembered past scandals involving the Carters, where money had silenced victims and erased crimes. But Henry Stokes was not a man easily swayed by status or power. The trial began amidst a packed courtroom. The prosecution presented irrefutable evidence, forged documents, suspicious wire transfers, and witnesses who testified to Samuel's direct involvement. Meanwhile, Samuel's defense lawyer, the sharp and charismatic Edward Blake, argued that his client was a victim of misunderstanding and manipulation by the charity's corrupt board members. As the trial unfolded, Judge Henry noticed something peculiar about Samuel. Beneath his polished exterior and confident demeanor lay a shadow of guilt and fear. Samuel avoided eye contact with the witnesses and fidgeted whenever the evidence was presented. For Henry, this wasn't just another case, it was a glimpse into a man torn between his upbringing and his conscience. One evening, unable to shake the weight of the case, Henry decided to visit Hope Haven. The charity was housed in an old brick building on the edge of town, its walls adorned with colorful murals painted by the children it served. There, he met Clara Evans, the director of the charity. Clara was a woman of unyielding strength and grace, her eyes filled with both exhaustion and hope. Clara spoke candidly about the impact of the stolen funds. "We had to cut back on meals for the kids," she explained, her voice trembling. "Some of them went hungry because of what Samuel did. But what hurts more is knowing that someone who had so much took from those who had so little." Henry left Hope Haven that night with a heavy heart. He understood that his decision would ripple far beyond the courtroom. It would affect the lives of the children, the reputation of the justice system, and Samuel's future. On the final day of the trial, Samuel took the stand. Under relentless cross-examination, he finally broke down. Tears streaming down his face, he confessed to embezzling the funds. He spoke of the immense pressure to live up to his father's expectations, the desperation to prove himself in a world where his worth was measured by wealth and success. "I thought I could fix it before anyone noticed," Samuel admitted. "But I was wrong. And I'm sorry." The courtroom was silent. For the first time, the townsfolk saw Samuel not as a privileged man immune to consequences but as a flawed individual seeking redemption. Judge Henry retreated to his chambers to deliberate. The law demanded punishment, but Henry knew justice was not just about retribution, it was about accountability and the opportunity for change. He returned to the courtroom with his verdict. "Samuel Carter," he began, his voice steady but firm, "you have admitted to your crime, and the evidence against you is clear. However, this court believes that true justice is not served by locking you away but by ensuring you make amends for the harm you've caused." Henry sentenced Samuel to 2,000 hours of community service at Hope Haven, requiring him to work directly with the children he had wronged. He also ordered full restitution of the stolen funds, to be paid from Samuel's personal savings, not his father's wealth. The decision sparked debate across Fairhold. Some criticized Henry for being too lenient, while others praised his wisdom. But Henry stood by his choice, knowing that punishment alone could not heal the wounds Samuel had inflicted. In the months that followed, Samuel's transformation became evident. At Hope Haven, he learned the names and stories of the children he had indirectly harmed. He painted walls, served meals, and helped with homework. Over time, the children began to forgive him, and so did Clara. For Judge Henry Stokes, the case of Samuel Carter was more than just a trial, it was a reminder that justice was not black and white. It was a delicate balance of accountability, compassion, and the hope for redemption. And in the small town of Fairhold, it became a story that would be told for generations, a testament to the power of fairness, humility, and second chances.